it, but sometimes got switched off in my pocket every once in a while. But I like the physical mute button. So I have a few mixed feelings overall about the build of the phone since it's so razor thin, but it's definitely built well. It shouldn't bend in your pocket or anything. Actually, I think the worst quirk about the hardware is the speaker on the bottom. It's a pretty loud speaker. I mean, it's got decent mids and highs, and it's a little bit tinny, but the thing is, it's a small downward-facing driver, so it's really easy to accidentally block it when you're holding the phone, watching a video, or playing a game. Now, I know the elephant in the room right now is the iPhone 6 Plus, which is the companion 5.5-inch iPhone that Apple released alongside the iPhone 6 a couple of weeks ago. And basically, my opinion on that is this. I'm going to review it separately in a completely different video, and that's upcoming. But if you're trying to decide between the 6 and the 6 Plus, consider this. All of the factors that make the iPhone 6 a little bit slippery and a little bit difficult to hold in the hand are amplified on the iPhone 6 Plus. It's an even bigger phone in every single way, and it's still rounded on the edges, so it's even more difficult to grip. The easiest way to see this is to go into an Apple store and hold one, but trust me, the 6 Plus is huge. So really, besides improved internals, the main physical advantage to this iPhone 6 over an older iPhone is the size. It's a bigger screen, and it has all the advantages that naturally come with having that bigger screen. So bigger icons, bigger UI, bigger text, bigger web browsing, bigger gaming, bigger video watching, bigger keyboard. But what's funny is it stops there. So the iPhone 6 has a 4.7-inch 1334 by 750 IPS display. Awesome colors, great brightness, incredible viewing angles, and a pretty high pixel density. 326 ppi makes it the same as the iPhone 5 and 5S. And iOS 8 is trained to take advantage of every inch of this display by basically scaling everything up from the iPhone 5S. But like I said, there aren't really any extra features in iOS to take advantage of the larger display, so there aren't no multitasking features or anything extra. There is Apple's interestingly implemented reachability, which is basically to make one-handed use easier, so you can double touch the home button to move the UI halfway down the display so you can interact with the top half of stuff. I sometimes use this to reach those top corner buttons in apps or pull down the notification bar when I'm feeling lazy, but yeah, that's about it as far as Apple's extra features for a big screen go. Again, it's a great display. I guess I wish they just did more to take advantage of it. Maybe show more apps in the multitasking menu, make touch targets bigger in first-party apps, things like that. They don't have to force anything, but I just wish they did a bit more with all those extra pixels. But the rest of iOS 8 is very familiar to anyone who's ever used an iPhone or an iPad before. I really don't have to explain that. You have some improvements to the notification area, so now you can add widgets just to the notification area that stay there and permanently show information, so you can get more apps from the App Store to fill up this panel with different widgets that show info. And you can kind of mess around with these and get shortcuts and real-time stats and info and stuff, and that's nice. But you can only have them, like I said, in this Today section of your notification panel. But overall, you have a nice layer of gloss over the top of a very familiar user interface. It's prettied up with this gloss and reflections all over the place. I still like iOS a lot, even though it's a bit restricted in terms of where I can share to and how I can get into Google services, but it seems like every new version there's a flash of something that makes the OS a little more appealing. Speaking of flash, there's a highlight of the new iPhone, and that is the camera on